Hi, I'm Chuck Friedman. In this series, I get to talk to inspiring members of our community about their stories, upcoming projects, and more. Welcome to the Developer's Edge. Hi everybody, welcome back to Developer's Edge. This is going to be an amazing episode today because we're talking to Pawani Damarla, who's a senior product manager for our developer experience team. Pawani, welcome to Developer's Edge.
Thanks, Chuck.
Pawani, I'm so excited to be talking to you today. Let's start by hearing about your role and what brought you to Akamai.
Thank you so much for having me, Chuck. I'm a senior product manager here at Akamai on the Edge Technology Group. And basically my role is very focused on developer experience. Akamai serves several different purposes. We have several products and services. But this role specifically focuses on improving the developer experience for our customers.
Looking at a role like product management for developer experience, what are some of the things that you especially thought you would bring to the role to improve that?
I did start my career as a software engineer, and then I moved into product management roles. In the few previous jobs I've had, I've seen the transition. I've seen this transition of customers moving away from just having like a site manager or a portal to work with. The integrations have been so much more easier and so much more flexible when you work with developer tools. So I did see the transition over the past few years, and I did see the industry moving in that direction. And when I saw this position about developer experience, I knew that it was going to be very different. It was not going to be typical product management. But again, product management does not define a certain set of rules and responsibilities. Product management is, I think a very crazy kind of job. Like you go do everything. You do marketing, you do some kind of sales, you do support, you do development sometimes. This role brought in all of that together for me, and I think I'm really enjoying it.
So in addition to the best practices and insights that we share amongst our developer-facing teams, what are some of the other resources that you look to for other best practices or innovation or insight around developer experience?
Product management, we use this framework called RISE framework, which really helps us identify what needs to be fixed first versus what can wait. And there's a lot of things that we have identified we need to do to improve the developer experience at Akamai. Again, I mentioned different resources that we provide to the customers in terms of some customers wanting to use our native APIs, some customers want to use some easier interfaces like CLIs or Terraform or Ansible. So trying to understand where the market is going to be 2 years down the line and try to solve the problem of customers being able to integrate with us in those other developer interfaces.
As you've gotten to know our developers and customers and members across our community, what do you think are some of the most important things that we're doing to help them be more successful using our tools and solutions?
We are focusing a lot in terms of providing our customers the best-in-class documentation, which not just gives them the resources to use, but gives it in a way that they can make use of the documentation and probably point out a use case that they would want to integrate in their environment. So having a wide variety of integrations available for the customers to choose from is another thing that's really important for developers. Our approach to that is try to provide as many different integration paths as possible for developers to integrate into their environments. That way the developers don't have to do any heavy lifting to start working with Akamai.
What are some of the things we're doing now to better engage and enable our community that are really exciting to you?
I know that there is a lot of active communication that's going out to developers that will really help them, about releases that we are doing, any updates, any kind of maintenance windows or anything that Akamai is doing that might affect their environments. I know there are active discussions about standing up an active community where developers can collaborate with each other as well And we are committed to be active in the community as well to help with any questions or feature requests for that matter, or anything that the developers want. And of course, we can't promise everything comes day one, but we will prioritize what we can do, and we will bring it to the table to help our developers make use of Akamai services the best they can.
When did you know that you wanted to focus on technology for a career?
Yeah. So my interest in technology, I would say that it comes from way back in school. I remember one time our school took us on a field trip to learn about a new technology that was launched, and that was email, right? I remember we literally went on a trip with our whole class, and it was like super exciting for us to know that there was this new technology where you could send emails to each other, and that was something where you don't have to write anything on paper, and you just type something on a computer and hit send, and it reaches your friend. And it was super interesting for us, and they made it an event in our life, which I still remember. And I was like, wow, this is just so cool, right? I don't need to write anymore. Like, I can just send anyone and it just reaches them. And I think that's where I would say, I just started thinking about this. These things are really cool. Like, what else is possible with technology? And I think I was thinking in that direction ever since. I decided to go to college for computer science as well, and that's where it all started.
For someone like me who's grown up in the lower altitudes of New England, what is it like to hike in Colorado?
It's a breath of fresh air. I'll frankly tell you, the first time I went and hiked Mount Evans, I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God, we're at 14,000 feet above ground, and I felt dizzy. But you see the view from where you reach on top, and you're like, it's totally worth it, and you want to do it over and over again. So it's just amazing. I love the views in Colorado. I mean, Rocky Mountains is like an awesome place, and there's so much activity. Like there's so many kids and dogs, and it's just being out there.
Pawani, this was an awesome conversation. I love talking with you, and I'm so appreciative of the work we do together to improve developer experience with you and your team. Thank you so much for joining me on Developer's Edge.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Chuck. It's always fun chatting with you.
Thank you for joining us today on Developer's Edge. We hope you liked our conversation. To watch more, subscribe, and check out our other series. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.